Hey guys, welcome again. So today we will talk about. I think in the last few series we talked about load balancing and I explained about the network load balancers and application load balancers and classic as well. And I had shown you guys the demo. I hope you guys have done that. Well, today we'll start a new topic. So there is something called auto scaling. Autoscaling is an interesting concept, which is a part of high availability and fault tolerant. So in this video, I thought of explaining about, okay, how can you implement autoscaling and what are the various components in autoscaling. Maybe in this video, I'll just go with the basics of autoscaling and I'll just do a quick demo to quick start. Maybe in the next video, I will continue the autoscaling part too. Yeah. So the first thing is, I hope you guys remember when I was talking about the horizontal scaling and vertical scaling. I think better you guys have to have a refresh on it. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about this today, like what is horizontal and what is vertical. Just keep going back or refer my previous notes or previous videos. I had explained that to you. So the auto scaling which we are doing right now, if you refer that notes, you will come to know what kind of scaling we are going to do. Is it horizontal scaling or is it vertical scaling? Okay, this is one thing. Now the next thing is, okay, let me talk about auto scaling a little bit, theory, and then we will just quickly jump into it. Just give me a minute. Okay, basically, just want to refresh you. When we launch an EC2 instance, yeah, what are the components we require? Yeah, I'll just write it again. Just give me a minute. Yeah, so whenever you launch an EC2 instance, launch an EC2 instance. So when you launch an EC2 instance, what are the components which we normally take care? What are the basic needs? Yeah, without that, you cannot launch an instance. The first one is we need an AMI, right? If you remember, we will choose the AMI on the first page. Now the second one is instance type. Yeah, and the third one is you will configure the instance type. Configure the instance type. And the fourth one is, what is the fourth one? The fourth one is, I think, storage, if I'm not sure. Let me check. So it will be storage. Then the fifth one, it should be tags. If you want to add some tags or something, you can add it. Then sixth one is you need to add a security group. And the seventh one is it's a key pair. So if you remember, if you have all these seven components, only then you can launch an EC2. You can launch an instance. Yeah, this is the basic funda of launching an EC2 instance. Yeah. So just remember this concept in the brain, in the mind for this video. So as the video go as I explain you the auto scaling group, you may have to refer this. Yeah. So this is one thing. Now, what is auto scaling, Samir? So auto scaling is nothing but, for example, I hope you guys have seen. So there is a guy and who is trying to access something, and what we have done last time is we have put some load balancers here. Okay, so load balancer will, either if it is a classic load balancer, it will directly go to EC2 instances like this. So what is this? This is a classic load balancer. Correct. Now, if you see the same thing, if you see something like application load balancer, so what is application load balancer? Application load balancer is nothing. You'll have the same guy is coming inside, and then you're putting a load balancer ALB application. Here I'll just call it as CLB, and here I'll call it as ALB. So for ALB, what we are doing is we're just, we're just putting some group of instances into a group, and we call it as a target group. Correct? Target group. And you just gave some, for example, I'm just giving target group 1, and I am having some 2 instances here. So I'm just giving target group 2, and here I have some 4 instances something, so I'm giving something target group 3. So ALB will just send the traffic to the target groups. Yeah, so this is application load balancer, and it's the same for network load balancer also. The only thing is the difference between when you're choosing application load balancer, network load balancer, it's based on your transactions and other factors. But mainly if you want your if your application is being accessed by millions of transactions per second, you would go with that. But for this application load balancer, network load balancer, as I've already explained, this will go hand by hand. So you will, for example, so there's a person here, so he'll come here, then you connect to an NLB first, then from here you'll connect to the ALB, then from here you'll connect to the target group. So this is how the setup would be. Yeah, so we have seen all these things there. Then what is right now? What happens is if one EC2 instance goes down for some reason, or if something is crossing some utilization, so what will happen? How the traffic is going to flow? So that is what we're going to see right now. Okay, so for that, let me put a nice diagram again. So for example, I'm connecting, I'm hitting a traffic right now, and then I have put a load balancer here. So say for example, this is any load balancer. Okay, for now, for just to explain generally, I'm just mentioning load balancer. Okay, now when you hit a load balancer, after that what we are doing here is I'm going to introduce a concept called ASG. So this is ASG. Okay, so I called as an auto scaling group. Auto scaling group. Auto means automatically it will scale up or scale down. It's a group, auto scaling group. Okay, in this we are putting different numbers of EC2 instances, so it will increase up or it will decrease down based on the configuration. So this is what auto scaling we are going to do. For example, I'll just give you another example. So say for example, you have 5 EC2 instances. Okay, this should be always up and running. This is a condition. So how can you achieve this? So you can achieve this using this auto scaling concept. Okay, so what I will do is I will create an auto scaling configuration, for example, and then I will tell them, boss, I want minimum 5 instances should be up. Okay, and maximum you can define whether you want 6 or 7, depends on that, but I want minimum 5. And also desired, you can have more than 5 or more than 6. I will talk about these things, but the condition is you're just giving some condition like you want these many instances up and running. So for example, if instead of 5 if you became 4 for some reason, auto scaling group will detect it, and then it will launch it one more, and then it will become 5. Okay, so this is what the auto scaling group does. I'll just explain you more in the diagram. Okay, so let's jump into the I'm sorry, I'll just explain you more about in the practical things. So let's do here. So if you want to see auto scaling groups, click on EC2 first. Okay, now scroll left, and there is something called auto scaling on the last here. See here, last. Okay, click on auto scaling groups. When you hit on auto scaling groups, so it will ask you create auto scaling group. get started with AC to ETC to auto scaling by creating an auto scaling group. So what we are going to do is you are going to click on create auto scaling group, and I'm going to give some name here. So the name is, for example, my app ASG, something like this. Okay. Now, if you scroll down, this is the auto scaling group which I given. But if you scroll down, it is asking something for launch template. Okay. Now, before I explain you about this launch template, I just want to explain you about some basic concepts here. Say, for example, before you create ASG. So, for example, this is ASG auto scaling group. Okay. So before this, you have to define two components, okay, or two components here. So one is launch template, or you can launch configuration. Okay, launch template is newly introduced by AWS, and this is the old one. So this launch template has lot of features. Okay, so this one doesn't have that much of features. Okay, now before you create ASG, you have to create either this or this. That is the first rule. Okay, so that's why when we come here, it's asking me choose a launch template that contains the instance level settings such as Amazon machine AMI, instance type, key pair, and security groups. Okay, now if you don't want to use launch template, for example, in this diagram we are using launch template, right? So if you don't want to use launch template, if you want to use launch configuration, then just come here, you can click on switch to launch configuration. So when you click on switch to launch configuration, it will be launch configuration. If you want to switch to launch template, click on it, it will become launch template. Got it? See? Okay, now I'm using launch template because this is advanced version. Yeah, but I will explain you about launch configuration also in the next videos, no problem. Now if you click on this, I don't have any launch templates created. So what am I going to do? You have to create this launch template. Okay, that is what I'm going to do. Now click on create a launch template here, it will open in a new window. Now if you see this, what is this launch template? This launch template is nothing but whenever you're creating an EC2 instance, right, the entire options will be coming up here. If you remember in the previous, I mean in the beginning of my video, I was just explaining you like whenever you launch an EC2 instance, you need some 6 or 7 characters, right? Yeah, this one. So this is a launch template will contain all these things. So this is what I call it as a launch template. Okay, so we are going to create a launch template with all these details. So for example, the first one is I'm going to give some name for the launch template. Okay, so what would be the launch template? Launch template is I'm going to give like my app launch template. Can give some description. Okay, I'll explain you all these other advanced options and checkboxes later, but for now we will just kickstart. We will just try to create one launch template and create one auto scaling group. Okay. Okay, now if you scroll down, the first one it's asking for AMI, see application and OS image. Okay, so in the launching instances also we will just talk about AMI only, the first one. So we're gonna give some AMI. So if you have your own AMI, you can choose. For example, in my based on my previous videos, I had added some my Apache down. I mean Apache AMI. If you guys have the same, you can use it. Or I'm gonna click on quick start, I'm gonna click on Amazon Linux 2, and I'm gonna choose Amazon Linux 2, and the architecture I'm using x86, which is the Intel one. Okay, scroll down, next one is instance type. So I'm going to choose T2 micro. Okay, for now I'm just choosing T2.micro. Okay, now key pair login, I'm using my key pair. Okay, and the network settings, you don't want to choose anything, just leave it. I'll explain you all these things later. and scroll down, and security group, yes, you have to choose your own security group for the EC2 instances which you have configured, so I'm using this one. And scroll down, storage, I'm going to keep the same. No need to add the tags, and the advanced details, I'm going to add some user data here. Okay, so user data is yeah, so let me control A, control C. I hope you guys are you guys familiar with this script. If you already have it, if you don't have it, please refer my previous videos for bootstrapping. Now scroll down. So those are all things done. So what are the things we have done right now is, in the launch template we have created AMI. I mean, we saw the AMI, we choose the instance type, and we saw the storage, and then we saw the security group, we saw the key pair. So this is what launch template contains. Okay, now I'm going to click on create launch template. The launch template is created. Yeah, so it is succeeded. Now I'm going back to the first tab and refreshing this window. Now if you scroll down, my app launch template is done. Now if you scroll down, I'll explain you all these things, the version things later. Just come with me along with the flow. Now hitting on next. Now I'm choosing the VPC. Which VPC? You guys will be having only one VPC. Click on it, and how many zones you want, okay, in order to launch your instances. Okay, so I'm going to choose 1 2 3, all the three. Okay, that is 1A, 1B and 1C. 1A, 1B and 1C. Yeah. So this is for your high availability thing. Okay, so I'm just choosing 1A, 1B, 1C. Okay, and then click next. Okay, for now I'm going this demo without a load balancer. We don't have any load balancer created yet, so let's go with the load balance without any load balancer. Don't check on any other health checks here. Okay, just hit on next, and you just make desired capacity as 1. Okay, let me make 2. Okay, I'm making 2. Minimum 1 I want, and maximum you can make 2. You can't, I mean, you have to have desired and maximum both same or greater than that. Okay, so for example, if I hit on next here, it will give an error. See, must be between minimum and max. So I should have something like this. If I have this, then it will be perfect. So desired means, I'll just show you this. So say for example, how are you calculating desire and minimum is, okay, so this is your auto scaling group. Okay, so this is your auto scaling group we have. Okay, and this is the box I have. Okay, and then what happens is here, so for example, here I have an EC2 instance, and here I have an EC2 instance. Okay, so as per the diagram, as per the configuration, I have minimum capacity 1. Okay, minimum capacity what? 1, right? So here if you see, minimum capacity is 1. Okay, so what it does is, in the diagram, minimum capacity will be like this. See, this is the minimum capacity. So this will be minimum capacity. So I'm just putting only 1. Okay, so next one is, what is desired capacity? Actual size or desired capacity? So desired capacity is 2. Okay, so what desired capacity, how it will come is, desired capacity, it will be like this. See, desired capacity is these two, from here to here. This is desired capacity. Okay, desired capacity, or you can say like actual size. Okay, and what is the maximum capacity? Maximum capacity is 2. Maximum capacity, again, this is going to, for example, if I make maximum capacity 6 here, say example, so what will happen? Maximum capacity 6 means I will have, for example, here 3 4 5, okay, you have 6. So I will have the entire things from here to here This is maximum capacity. So this will keep on increasing, okay, based on that. So there are three components which you need to understand: desired capacity, minimum capacity, maximum capacity. Understand that, okay? So desired capacity means what is your actual size, that's it. Okay, minimum capacity means, at least minimum you want that number of instances should be running. That is a concept. And maximum means anything it can grow up, it can scale out. Okay, so these are all the things. Now, so say for example, now I'm just making 2 for now. Okay, so what okay, let's make sure that I'm taking a screenshot of it, so that when we are trying to launch the instance, we just make sure that what all the things we have given. Okay, so we have this. Okay, cool. Now scroll down, hit on next, and then don't add any notification for now, just hit next. Don't add tags, just hit next, and then scroll down and then click on create auto scaling group. Okay, now it's saying after you created auto scaling group, it will say status updating capacity. So it will try to launch 2 instances. Minimum it will be 1, 2 would be maximum. Okay, on how many availability zones? If you see, it will be across on all the 3 availability zones. Okay, APC, see APC, AP South 1C, 1B and 1A. So this is what it's going. Now if you go to instances here, see, so it's just launching. Okay, 1A and 1B. So 2 instances it's launching as per our let me take the screenshot. See, as per our desired capacity, 2 instances are launching. Okay, which is launching in 1A and 1B. Okay, and maximum it will be 2 only. I cannot scale out. If I give a scale, if I give a maximum capacity 6, then I can scale, I can scale up to 6. But for now, just to understand how it's going to react, let's see. Okay, now okay, let it come. Okay, now I have 2 instances which we have already launched to the auto scaling groups. Okay, now if you go back on the left side, click on auto scaling groups. So if you see here, see, this is the auto scaling group which we have created. Okay, and we have 2 instances launched, and desired is 2, minimum is 1, and maximum is 2. And availability zones, I have used 1C, 1B, 1A, all the 3. Yeah, if you scroll down, you can see the details here. 2 desired capacity, minimum capacity 1, maximum capacity 2. Yeah, and we are using the launch template which we created. Okay, perfect. Now what is next? Now if you see here, there is something called activity. Click on activity. Okay, now if you hit on activity, just scroll down. There you can see some history, what exactly happened. Okay. Now activity history means, the auto scaling group, when it's trying to launch an instance, or when it's trying to access some resources or something, so it will just create a error log, or it will create a successful log, and then it will give a complete history of what happened. So this is very important for activity, auto scaling group, and then activity. So when you scroll down, yes, see, something has happened here. So after I created the log, so user requested create and changing the desired capacity from 0 to 2. Okay, started response difference between increasing the capacity from 0 to 2. Okay, but something failed. What is failed? Launching a new EC2 instance. Your requested instance type t2.micro is not supported on. Okay, if you guys remember, I think we faced the same issue couple of lessons back when I was explaining about load balancer. The t2.micro is not supporting on AP South 1C availability zone. So please retry your request by not specifying availability zone, or choose only 1A, 1B. So this launch, it was trying to launch. If you see, I have used 3 availability zones, right? And then it was trying to launch an 1 EC2 instance in 1C, but it was failing because T2 series was not supported in 1C. You guys are already aware of it. Then what autoscaling group did, since it got failed in that group, it just launched in a different availability zone. Okay, so we got launch a 2 EC2 instance in a different availability zone. So if you go here instances, you can see this one. The first one is launched in 1A, and then this one is launched in 1B. Okay, so if you guys face the same issue, then you guys know what exactly the problem is. Okay, so make sure that you either you change the instance or you don't choose 1C. Okay, and how do you change it? If you come here, auto scaling groups here, okay, and then click on it, okay, and then scroll down a little bit, then you have something called edit here, network edit, and here you just delete the 1C and then click on update. So you will have only 1A and 1B, or you have to change the instance type in the launch template here. Okay, I will explain you all these things later, but for now, if you're facing the same 1C issue, come here, come to network edit, and then delete the 1C. Okay, that is one thing. Now what I'm going to do is, the experiment here is, okay Samir, let's do one thing. I'm going to stop this instance. Okay, stop one of the instance. The instance name is, see, for example, instance name is what, 42. It's ending with 42. Okay, I'm stopping it. Okay, now let's see what happens in a minute, or in a minute or two. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm just pausing the screen. Okay, now the one which I've stopped, let me refresh the screen and let's see what happens. Okay, now it is stopped. It should detect, and then it should launch one more instance. So right now I've stopped 42. Let's see what happens, and then in the meantime I'm gonna open the auto scaling groups in the new tab. So clicking on it, okay, and I'm just clicking on activity. Now if you see the activity here, it's just terminating one of the 42 instance. See number 42 here, instance ID 42, it's terminating. Okay, and then it's just launching a new EC2. See 42, it is terminating, and it is launching something called 23D, because we need two desired instances, or two in our count. So that's why it shows 23D it's launching. If you come back to the instance screen and if you refresh it, you'll get 23D. See 23D, which is in pending, and it will become in progress. The previous one 42 is terminated. Okay, so this is the beauty of auto scaling group. So 23D is successful, and 42, that is terminated in successful. Okay, so this is the beauty of auto scaling group, guys. Okay, so hope you guys know, like, we need either launch template or launch configuration to launch an auto scaling group. So we have used launch template. We have a lot of things to see the options, but for now, just to kickstart, if you guys wanna learn, I mean, just want to do a quick demo also, you guys can do the same. Okay, and also remember, for AP South 1C, T2 series are not supported. If you face the same error, you hope you guys know what to do. Just see my video again. Okay, thanks guys.